Howdy. I had to plug up my glue gun, sorry. Okay. I'm just going to be on here for a few minutes to catch up. I'm prepping for the 127 corridor sale, so David has everything ready and priced and boxed because he's working all week so he can have Friday off and his normal Saturday off. My hair looks horrible. So I'm trying to prep and stuff while I'm feeling decent. My eyes are really tired from yesterday, y'all, because I had not typed that much and used my eyes that much and wore glasses that long for I don't know how long. Which probably means I should do it more often if it's going to give me that much fit. So perhaps that's something I should start doing more, is doing more typing and wearing my glasses more often, because it really, like, my eyes did not like me last night or this morning. They were not happy with me. And the typing didn't seem to bother me. And I did actually pretty decent, even though I hadn't typed in I don't know how long. I did pretty decent. But my eyes have not done well today, so I haven't done any of the sewing I need to do. I'm just working on the stuff that's a little bit easier for me to finish and trying to get my stupid glue gun to come on. I'm not being very successful at getting my glue gun to come on. So if you've never heard about the 127 corridor sale, it is the world's largest, basically, yard sale. A lot of people go antiquing during it because a lot of people sell their antiques during this time. I don't remember a time I never remember this, because basically ever since I've been able to remember, my area has had this, and they normally serve as like the hub, the headquarters. So it's just something that every year we kind of avoid certain roads so we can get around without getting blocked in the yard sale traffic, which is never pleasant. But it is a fun thing if you can enjoy it, if you don't mind the traffic. Well, there goes somebody that needs to go adios really quick. Wow. Hi. Pitiful. I wonder how horrible of a person you have to be to act like that when you first enter somebody's live stream. I know, I probably supervised half of them when I was a parole officer. Who knows? Anyway, so what I'm doing right now is I've got some of these dream catchers and stuff going. I have also got some Cody Fang earrings drying. And I have got this clamped and drying, so overlook the clothespin. But I did fox jaws on this. And I want it to remain rather simple so that whoever gets it can kind of add to it. So this is going to be the simple one for somebody that's not looking to spend a whole lot of money. Then I'm fixing to put tails on the big one. I wove a huge one this morning. Let me show you. It was a very pretty morning here, and I sat on the porch with Luna. And this is one of the rounds I cut and bent the other day. And I wove it this morning. And I've just got some beads and some strings, some leather strings on it right now. I'm going to be putting some tail drops on it, and probably some bones, probably a skull, whatever comes to me at that point is what I'll put on there. But I really like the way that this wrapped. This is willow from my yard, and I really like the way it wrapped and the shape it made on its own. It's kind of a teardrop, funky teardrop shape. It did pretty good. So I'm kind of tickled with how that turned out. It was, it was a pleasant weave this morning. It was quiet, and I was enjoying time on the porch. Luna was snoring on the patio furniture, as always. And it was just a pleasant morning. But I tell you what, if I could get my glue gun to work, I would be in business right now. David took off with my other one, and God knows where it is. Like, honestly, I have no clue. Let me hang this back up. So I'm not going to go completely natural with the dream catchers, just because I have noticed that even if I try to go completely natural, most people really like to have the extra stuff on the bottom, the dangles and stuff. So I'm going to put some of the leaf ribbon on there. And then I probably will put some, I've got some organza, I've got some shredded fabric, some ripped fabric that looks really pretty in the wind. It's like a tulle that's hand ripped, and it has really rustic but really pretty movement when the wind catches it. So I'm kind of doing a half and half vibe with these and hoping that somebody finds something that they like. And we'll see. I don't know. I may not even be there depending on how I feel because I've had such a rough health week, as you can tell by the bags under my eyes. You see like my circles? I'm going to name them. I'm going to name them and just formally adopt them because they're with me all the time, so why not, I might as well. So if you've never been in my channel, my name is Hillbilly Heart. This channel is basically for my husband to do his trapping and tanning and share stuff like that, where we kind of share our life, stuff that we do. We're in Appalachia. I'm a retired parole officer and a counselor, and I have a neuromuscular disorder that's kind of like MS, so I kind of day-to-day is whatever my health is, I deal with it and go on. My eyes have been horrible this week. And by the bags under them, I'm supposing that it's probably the weather change that has happened here. It's been like fall this week here in the mountains. But I also have done a lot this week and had a lot of stuff that I had to complete and errands to run. And I tried to help at the newspaper office because it's fair time, and the fair board doesn't always have the money to always pay extra people to write stories for the newspaper. And I step in sometimes and write the stories. And a few years ago, I wrote the script for their state script for their, it's a competition that the fairs go into. That's about all I know. They sent me a video and wanted me to write a very heavy cultural heritage-based script. I wrote it, and we went to the state and got first. So that was fun, and I still like to write, but I don't. I only do it as like a help out when they're really behind, and because I can't always guarantee that I will feel like giving my time with my health. I'm about to give up on my glue gun. I really, really am. We'll see if it turns on. So that's what I've been up to this week. I had to go and have all my blood work and EKG that I have every month done. That was lovely. I think David's going to be at Kim. I'm glad you're in here, Kim. If you see that idiot putting nasty stuff in here, just block him. We're going to be at East Fork, and Greta was kind enough to give David like a huge spot in the shade. And that way, if I can go, maybe I won't get super, super, super hot, which probably I will anyway. So this is what I've been working on. I got my overhauls turned down. This is called air conditioning. This is what I've been working on. I've got 2 new ones done, and David finally got me some skulls and teeth, and so I'm trying to put those out. I've got 2 full boxes of crochet that I've done. By the way, the goat's still here. I meant to give that to you the other day. Fly blank, forgot it. And I'm not going supernatural because I've noticed that even if I have them supernatural, people still like this leaf ribbon, and they like certain things in the wind. They like the movement, and I don't mind that, so I'm going to go ahead and put some bonuses on there. But I'm tired. I wrote 2 big stories for the paper yesterday to help them out, the fair board, and my eyeballs have not liked me today, but it is what it is. Just go on. So my eyeballs have not been, I've had like a half a headache all day, and now I've got to make dinner. But I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes packed, priced, packed and away, and all the necessities put up. So that's nice. But we'll be behind East Fork. Well, he will. I should be there. I hope I'm there. I hope I'm there. They gave him a giant spot, so he's going to be able to put out more stuff than normal. And they were kind enough to make sure that I was close to the bathrooms and in a shade if I'm there. So that made me very happy. I'm going to need one more. Doggone. So that was very nice of them. This was a last-minute decision. We were not going to do this, but then when East Fork kind of started advertising again, and they started talking about the crowd they had last year, we thought, well, that might be a decent place to set up where you don't take such a gamble on people that are just looking for junk. Because there's a lot of people that just look for cheap junk. And they don't think they have to pay anybody full price. But if we can get East Fork, we think that we'll get more of the people that like our stuff, because they have cabins to decorate and stuff. Let me cut me another piece of ribbon real quick. Oh, it's tangled up. Of course it would be. So I've dried willow and wove for most of the weekend and beginning of the week. And just trying to pack and label so that if I'm not there, everything is priced so that he doesn't have to guesstimate on my stuff that I've made to give to him. Because he doesn't know. Like when I say, here, you can take this, he doesn't know what a crochet possum goes for. He doesn't know. So I try to put prices on stuff so that he at least gets a ballpark figure. I mean, they go pretty doggone cheap, but I don't want him to give them away because I actually have to sit there and do that. So I try to price the stuff that I've put in boxes for him for the last few months, and that way he gets a fair price. Because he wouldn't know, bless his heart. I was able to get my hands on a steer hide, so that was nice. That was a last minute yay. Maybe somebody will like it. So now I'm just going to finish this up and do some tail drops, some skulls, some jaw sets. I don't think I'm going to do much more beading than this just one drop that I've got here. But I'm going to do some tails, some fur sets, some ribbon, and skulls, teeth, and dress it up. And if I do any feathers, I think I'll probably put them on the top and make it like a focal point. That hurt. Ow, that hurt. Because I'm getting low on feathers because nobody's chickens are molting. What happened to y'all's chickens? Tell y'all's chickens to molt. I'm in need of feathers. So tell y'all's chickens to molt. Get on it. So yeah, I'm just finishing stuff up. I need to be sewing, but my eyes are not going to have a sewing day today. Just not. I was thinking about setting up Thursday, but I've only got a babysitter for Luna Thursday and through Sunday. So David said, don't worry about it. We'll just do Friday, Saturday. So, which is fine. That's enough. I don't think we'll need any more of that. Why is my glue gun not coming on? I'm beginning to get angry. I just want my glue gun to heat up so I can make my tail drop so I can get this finished so I can start dinner. So I went to the thrift store the other day and I picked up the cutest plant tray. Let me show you. It's a dish. Because I got done writing the stories and I didn't want to drive home and then drive back to town, so I went to the thrift shop. And I found this for like $3. Yeah, $3. $2, $3. And it's old. And I got it to set, I've got a Bohemian curtain plant that I started, and I got it to set it in. Is that not pretty? Oh, that's pretty. $3. God knows how old it is. It's got a mark on the back I might try to look up. I don't know where it's from. Unless it's Linux or something like that. I don't really know anything about it. So, enjoy getting that. What else have I? That's about all I've got going on. I have just been busy crocheting, sewing, writing stories, trying to keep Luna squared away. And then I've had a couple days where my knees have been so swollen I've had to just take it really slow because of the weather. This weather's killing me. This weather's horrible. Hello, Joy. So I've just been taking it easy getting ready for this yard sale, which I've seen a lot of people already on YouTube that are hitting the Crossville to Clark Range section of it. And I'm trying to put in those videos where David will be during the weekend. so that maybe they'll come on down, because they're looking for like artisan stuff. So I'm like, come on down. Do about 15 more minutes on down the road and you'll be happy you did. So maybe they will. I don't know. But there's lots of people that are going and traveling. Mom was going to take her friend to Forbes and go pick up some fudge and do some stuff and just have a girls' day out. And I reminded her, Mom, it's the 127 yard sale. She goes, oh, crap. She goes, well, I guess we'll put that off. Because if you're from here and you have to drive in it all the time, it's just a pain in the tuchus. You don't want to. You don't want to. Also, David had another skunk pelt sale last night on Etsy. He's had 3 skunk pelts sale this week to the same man. So, yay. I guess he got the first 2. He liked them a lot, so he came back and bought another one. And what else is sold? The antler candlesticks sold. And I bet I safety packaged those. He didn't really know how to do it. And I was like, just hand them to me. And I bubble wrapped the heck out of those. So, I know. Mom just hates, because when you get down there past the York grist mill, you get in a little snaky spot that you can't get. If you get stuck, you're just stuck, because there's really nowhere to turn around and get around people. And she was like, I'll just wait. And I was like, it's a good call, Mom, because people drive so crazy during the yard sale. So maybe it won't be super bad. It looks like the weather's not going to be super, super nasty. Like the rain chance on Friday's a little high, but Saturday it's not. But the temps are staying in the low 80s. So maybe it won't be super bad. Well, if it's super bad, I just take my butt home, because I ain't doing that. Oh, I get these messages and they're never nice. No, thank you. Yeah. Bye-bye. I get so tickled by the people that come in here and act like an idiot. And then I'm like, you do know, for a decade, I monitored and supervised murderers and criminals for my state. Don't. The only reason I'm home now is because I'm sick. If you can't tell from my eyes, I have a neuromuscular disorder that's like MS, and it kicks my butt. And it's been kicking my butt the last couple of weeks. And having a hard time coming back from it. And my eyes are definitely showing the issues I've been having the last few weeks, but it is what it is. I can't, there's not enough concealer in the world, so we just deal with it and go on. That's all we can do. That's a long message. Well, that was a nice message. Well, thank you. That was sweet from Okinawa. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, now YouTube, somebody's trying to report me and say I'm showing stuff that I can't show. That's lovely. They stop it. They can stop it. This is what happens. You get these people that come into your lives and want to be rude and nasty. And then if you don't let them be rude and nasty, they try to report you to YouTube fraudulently. And they fictitiously make up a reason, and then YouTube is like, we're going to have to shut down your account and check you out. And then they go, sorry, that was... sorry. And I'm like, yeah, sorry. We know you're sorry, YouTube. We get that. It doesn't bother me because I don't make money here. So, I mean, and all I do is say, okay, now on the backside, go check out who did that, because it's obvious they're misusing this platform. And then they go and monitor them for 30 to 60 days. So it's just kind of a backlash that you probably don't want to create, but a lot of people create it here. The internet protocols and laws are trying to catch up, but they're just, they're creeping, because every state has to be, different. They battle it out, then they watch other states set a precedent, and then they jump on the bandwagon. So it's a creep crawl, and you may, go 50 miles one year and 10 miles the next. And, it's got to grow as things are uncovered and figured out. So it's just been really... Some of the worst things about YouTube is that when you do this and they spit you out in the algorithm like they have me a few times, apparently they did this again last week, because I'm getting horrendous trolls. It's kind of funny, because I'm like, I know y'all are home and have nothing better to do. It's sad. I feel for you. I mean, it's a cry for help. It's a cry that says, I'm home, I have nothing to do, and this is how I fill my time, because I'm an empty vessel. I'm void of any humanity. And I'm like, that's really sad. But at the same time, ain't your mama, go away. That's how I feel about it. So it's just strange. So I don't really mess with most of these people. really want to go to the I really want to see YouTube's already retracted that message going, oh, shucks, somebody lied. Yeah, YouTube, somebody lied. It's okay, YouTube. You're so slow on the uptake, YouTube. It's pathetic. Am I J.D. Vance's mom? No, because he'd have got a butt whooping if he'd been my kid. You know, most people think that book he wrote is awesome, but if you're from Appalachia and you're one of the people that, you know, went to school and came back and tried to better the area, and then you see somebody write a book and you're from here, so you kind of know the lifestyle, and you sit there and you go, wow, he really romanticized that in a very negative light. A better way to have explained that or to have shared that with people would have been a misportrayal, or to have withheld this information to protect something, you know. He put a lot out there that if he probably hadn't been as powerful as he was at the time, would not have done as well as it did. So he could kind of kibosh a lot of the crap shooting that people do when you write a book. But you watch it and you see other people view Appalachia through that one lens, and then they think everybody in Appalachia is like that. And it's very hard to explain that no. Appalachia is not homogenous. We are very diverse. We have a lot of cultures represented here. We have a lot of everything represented here. And we're pretty happy people, and we're pretty sound people. But as with any area that you visit and go to, you know, there is what I call the underbelly of society. And you're going to find that anywhere, but only in Appalachia is it picked to be the status quo. Like, they won't let Appalachians be anything but the underbelly that is seen. And that started way back in the coal mines when they were trying to keep the area poor so that everybody had to work in the coal mines. And when they were allowing the company stores and the mining companies to basically have indentured servants in the mines that could not make money and leave, that could not, you know, even purchase a home to live in, that had to spend their money. They didn't get paid money, they got paid in script. They had to spend it at the company store. The company was this all-encompassing entity, and they couldn't do anything. So they have really done their darndest to keep Appalachia down. And it's because we live in a very rich area. The land is very rich. The mineral wealth that we sit on here in Appalachia is probably unheard of. And a lot of the culture here is also very rich because it's one of the last places that you can still see all of the cultures that came to start settling the wilderness. And they've been very well maintained because it's such an isolated area. You come into Appalachia, and if you don't, you know, leave and come back and leave, you stay in this little bubble. And so a lot of people find that charming. I like it. I like it because I know the temperament of the area, and I don't have to be concerned. I know the temperament, I know the people, and I know what to expect. And you can't do that hardly anywhere else in America. But a lot of people also find it, I don't know, profitable. And then they come in a malevolent manner, and they want to video Appalachians and what I call the underbelly, the people that, bless their hearts, have some neurological or cognitive disability issues, and aren't per se the best models for the area. They're not the average person in the area, but this is what is celebrated because we have a society that is truly sick. We have a society that likes to celebrate the macabre and really just make fun of people, and we don't really celebrate the good souls that we come across. Actually, Dwayne, there's not a lot of that here if you really look at it, because I used to actually monitor the sex offenders because I worked for the state. I supervised every level of felony offender in this interstate compact, and there's actually not a lot of that here. Now, if you start going more south or more west, well, not really west, I would say more south. There are little gaps in the valley that you have to kind of, but when you start going south, you start seeing that, and it becomes a very prevalent thing down into the Gulf. And if you read a lot of books on like anthropology, sociology, social construct and stratus and all that stuff, then you'll start to see how it was created in the Gulf area because of how the Gulf area was used for many decades. So, and the Gulf area has a very bad mojo history behind it. It was started as basically a prison colony, and then it started having workers come in, and they would like kidnap people and bring over, and they still are known to bring over some Eurasian men of like even some like Nordic bloodlines. They'll still bring them over to work the cotton fields and misrepresent how they're going to work them, and they almost get them trapped there. And so there's still some hanky panky stuff going on in that area, but it was predominantly a prison area for a long time. And then it was heavily inundated by the French Quebec people that came down that speak, because that's where the French language comes from. It comes from up there. It doesn't really come from France. So it's changed, but there's been a lot of weird stuff occur in that area, and there's still a lot of bad mojo in that area. But there's not a lot of that in Appalachia predominantly. You don't see that very much. And to be honest, you didn't see a lot of really heinous crimes until the statute where they closed the institutions and dispersed them back to the county of origin. So we had a lot of mentally disabled persons that required 1 to 2 people to monitor them at all times go to areas that did not have the resources or the staff or the training to take care of these people. And it took them a number of years to get caught up, to get people trained in and to understand how to take care of these people in a community environment. And you started seeing some stuff happen then that we had to monitor. And that probably happened everywhere that these individuals were dispersed to. Sadly, these individuals were just never socialized and never taught how to live within society, and many don't have the skills to live within society. That's why they have caretakers 24/7. So that was a big bump to a lot of rural areas. When because the law was you must go back to your county of origin. So a lot of rural areas that had relied on metro areas to have these institutions then became responsible for these individuals. They had no resources to meet their demands. And it was a very sad thing to see because it hurt the area and it hurt the individuals. It was not a good plan of attack when they made that deal. I have a bobcat right there. His name's Anchel. That's Anchel. He looks condescendingly at all my dinner guests. I have a fox pelt right there. I have a cow's deer right there. It's a southwestern deer. I have a skunk pelt right there. I've been doing a lot, and I've got some crochet up there. I've been doing a lot of native art this week, so I've got a lot of everything hanging around right now. I've got a bag of bones right here in my craft box. I've been picking out what I want to put on my dream catcher. So this is my sanitized bones. My husband's a trapper tanner, and I do native art because I look like my Scots-Irish daddy. But at the powwows, I was the only freckled young lady. It was hard to be the only freckled person at the powwows. If you want to see what, not fitting in is like, just be the freckled kid that sunburns at all the powwows. But my mother is a derivative of the Cherokee. It's the Lenape. It comes from the Delaware tribe up north. And no, I'm not one of the ones of the Cherokee tribes that gets paid, doggone it. But that's where my mom got her background from. So my brother got her lovely complexion and dark hair, and I got my dad's ruddy complexion and red hair. So yay for me. The Irish genes are strong. They throw me back out in the algorithm. And, we get a lot of troll traffic at that time. And, you just have to deal with it. Every once in a while, we do find a gem. So when they throw us the algorithm, sometimes we get a really great individual that comes through. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it was worth the 5,000 nasty messages and comments I got to find this wonderful person. I really prefer my quiet side of the internet where we just craft, we talk about life, we review books, we look at life, we learn through some of the crap that I've gone through. Being retired law enforcement it's not good because, especially if you have health issues, because people just really, they create a reason why they don't like you. And I had a really good rapport with all of my offenders that I supervised. And I never supervised. I only babysat a caseload here when one of the other officers retired, so I never really thoroughly supervised in my area. I didn't want to. I always drove and supervised elsewhere and taught cognitive behavioral therapy and stuff to the prisons. And so every once in a while somebody will create a beef in their mind because obviously they're living on drugs and dope, and they'll create a fictional reason to hate you, and you'll become the target for just no other reason than you carried a badge that you was in the bottom of your pocketbook with your gum wrappers, because that thing was not necessary. I did my job. I helped people. I didn't need a badge. I helped people. But they just hate you anyway. So you just kind of, you tread lightly and you pay attention as you go through life after you've worked in law enforcement. And sadly, people will just hate you because you did a job. They won't see the dozens and dozens, probably hundreds of, probably thousands of people that you sent to rehab, the chances you gave people, the talks that you had, the people that have, changed and are shining examples of what it is to really put effort into yourself and, become the person you're really truly meant to be. I've got so many success stories. That's what I'm so proud about in my time. I have so many happy people now that are able to be parents and spend time with their kids, raise their children, and they're like, I'm not in prison because you took time to actually talk to me and deal with these issues. So that's what I'm really proud about. But it's a crapshoot sometimes because people just don't like you when you're retired law enforcement. But that's okay. I never have been a big popular person. I grew up, my brother did taxidermy. We had a hunting lodge. We had a meat processing business. We had poultry farms, chicken houses. My grandpa had a tobacco base of beef cattle. My dad still manages a cattle farm. And I grew up really simple. So live real simple and just have a simple life and enjoy it. That's all you can do. Ain't nobody putting on airs. Have you ever been questioned by detectives? Well, yeah, I had to prosecute all my parole warrants myself. You wrote and prosecuted your own parole warrants. You wrote your probation revocations, but they had to go before court where you prosecuted them in court. In the parole department, I liked it better because you acted as your own entity. You didn't go to court and just stand back and let the other lawyer and the judge deal with it after you presented the information. At the parole hearings, you prosecuted your own warrant and brought your own proof, and everything. And I liked those a lot better because we didn't have like 15 cooks in the kitchen. It was literally what the person had done, the proof that I had, and what the parole board thought. And it wasn't drug out and clouded by 15 other people putting their fingers in this situation. I liked parole much more than I liked probation. But let me tell anybody that's out there having problems, probation and parole, it's not built for you to get off of probation and parole. They want you on paper because that paper brings them in revenue. Okay? Yeah. So when I didn't have 30% of my caseload go back every month, they'd be like, why didn't you write, 30% of your caseload? Well, no, I didn't have 30% violate. I had a very high success rate because I was a counselor at heart. And they would get irritated with me. And I'd be like, I'm not going to violate them if they didn't violate their supervision standards. I just don't know what to tell you, So I had a very high success rate. The parole board loved that. The state hated it. Two separate entities. And you just, I had to do what was right, what I thought was right, and deal with the people in the best way that I thought would, give them the future that they needed to have, make them keep working on themselves. So they would get irritated once in a while, but I have a lot of success stories. And I'm very proud of them all. They still keep in touch. And every once in a while, somebody will show up, knock on my door, and say, I hear that you help people go to rehab. And if they take time to find me, I won't let them in my house. We'll sit on the porch, and we'll start calling to find grant monies and transportation to get them to rehab. I won't say no. So I help a lot of people. Yes, there are some people that I've helped so many times I have to go, sorry, you just eat my time up when I could be helping somebody that may be actually ready to change. So I do a lot of work that no one in my area gets paid to do. We're a small area here, and they don't have a designated job in this area for somebody to do these things. So I know that they have trouble finding these places themselves. So I learned all the tips and tricks when I worked, and so I still help people go to rehab. So don't get paid for it, but if you show up, I'll help you. That's who I am. Oh, well, maybe. I don't know. There was once that the feds thought one of my guys had facilitated a bank robbery, and it made me mad because I had a really good report of this man, and I knew it wasn't him because he had a specific disability where the person on the film, it could not have been him because he couldn't have done the task that this person did on the video. And I was like, that's not my guy because my guy has this disability and he can't do that. And they were like, well, we want to talk to him, but you don't tell him we want to talk to him. So they made me lie to him to get him into the office, which really ticked me off because I was always honest with my people. I would tell them, listen, you're that close to a warrant, and either we start moving forward or we're going back to the pen. And so I didn't like lying to him, but I had to get him in there, and he had to be there by the end of business day. And they showed up kind of like men in black with suits and glasses and thought they were big crap. And I wasn't impressed at all. They kind of were frustrated. They started to grill me, and I said, excuse me. I said, I've got a lot of people to deal with, and I've called him. He's on his way in. And I was like, I'm busy. So they sat and waited, and he rolled in, and I pulled it back to the office, and I said, listen, I said, these people need to question you about a bank robbery. I said, it wasn't you. I know it wasn't you. I told them it wasn't you. But they wanted to question you. By law, they have the right. They wanted me to get you here. They didn't want me to tell you that they were here. I lied to you. And if you have lost faith in me, I will switch you to another caseload, which I did. Because I could tell in his eyes that it bothered him, and I didn't want him to screw up his supervision because he had lost trust in me. So I just switched him to somebody else's caseload so that he could start fresh. And I have a big beef with the feds. And then they talked to him for 3 minutes, and they said, okay, you can go. And they said, oh yeah, it wasn't him. I said, no crap. So I've never been very enamored with Fed level people. I had an opportunity. I could have gone on and worked at that level. But literally the capacity that I saw people perform their duties in at that level, I didn't want to be part of that. Bad enough that I worked for the state. I have worked for the federal government before. I did a contract in Appalachia for tutoring, and I worked with area schools. I taught more parents to read than I did children, I believe. But isn't that horrible when they do that? When you have like somebody with your name, like there was another girl that has my maiden name, and there's been a couple of times she's been in trouble, and it was before I had gotten married, right out of high school, and it kind of made you go, excuse me, that's not me. But they knew it, thankfully, but they all got a kick out of it. I did not get a kick out of it. I did not think it was funny. I didn't like it at all. You know what I found out the other day? Probably have to call you to tell you. I'll probably have to call you after I get done to tell you. It's not good. It's been a rough couple weeks around here. My pendant is stuck on my necklace, and I don't know why. I'm getting kind of sick of the area po-po because they seem very incompetent, or they seem very lazy. I don't know if it's laziness or incompetence. I'm straddling the fence on that one. It could be either, masquerading as the other. But, they see, like, I was talking to one that was here the other day due to a land issue next door. And because there was police at the end of the road, the neighbors down the way piled into their golf cart and drove down a county road past like 4 homes to come to the end of the road to circle to see what was going on. That's like a $400 ticket, y'all. That's not street legal. And the deputy just looked at him. And I was like, that's dangerous because people go like 40 on this road. And, especially if they don't turn to come to the dead end, if they're just going over the crossway. And I was like, that's dangerous. Yeah, you might need to go and let them know that that's not legal and they don't need to be doing that. And I said, it's kind of scary. And he goes, and I thought, but then I'll just tell it here. I don't care. It's factual, so I just say it. And then they informed me that someone in the area had been burning human waste, which was the smell that the entire area here was wondering what the crap it was. It was crap. Crap. And I said, excuse me? illegal. They did nothing about it. I said, what happens if there are repercussions that health-wise with the people in the area? We have no recourse because you didn't do even a report. He didn't seem too worried. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, oh, if you didn't document it, it didn't happen. And you're screwing over a lot of decent people because you didn't document what somebody that's truly indecent did. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Yeah, I think I said worse than that just to his face. But I told him, I said, y'all are going to have to start taking care of this area. I said, because I'm about to snap. I'm right there. I'm about to snap. About to snap. And he said, I understand. I said, no, you don't. No, you don't. But he said he was aware of the issues and that they were trying to pay more attention to this area. So I don't know if I don't know. All I know is if I'm going to be out of the house for more than 10 minutes, I have 9mm on my hip. That's all I know. That's all I can do. You know, that's all I can do. I've had enough people shoot at me, scream at me, threaten me, and I've seen enough criminals drive past my house that I'm just aware it's something you need to do right now with the vibe that's going on in this area. It's sad because this used to be a very sweet little area with kids playing softball in the field and everybody checking on each other, and literally one bad family ruined it all. And luckily we've got some land sales that are occurring, and we're hoping that the people that bought the land have the right idea about fixing it up a little bit and making it appeal to a different clientele. And I really hope so, because we have a couple of really great families that have moved in, really young starter families. And it's a great area because you can pick from 3 elementary schools here. It's great. So I'm like, let's get some good people back in here, y'all, because I'm drowning in crap. So maybe they will. I don't know. Maybe they won't. I really hope that it changes, because that's why I like being down the hill so much at the farm, because dead end of a dead end of a dead end. Yeah, it's like you turn until you can't turn anymore, and then I'm safe on the cattle farm with cameras and cows and coonhounds, and we know who's there, you know. So I like being there a lot more. But the thing is when I have to be up here for health appointments and stuff like that, and to help Dave with stuff, my health tanks, and it's just from stress. It's absolutely just from stress. It's just stress. So, you know, that's the life. That's the life, and that's what happens when you have a police force that doesn't really do its job. Like the woman that shot at me for over a year, and they said, well, we don't think anything's happened, Elizabeth. We never see her. Well, no, if you drive 35 miles an hour through here and you don't stop, you ain't gonna see crap. I said, sit your butt somewhere and listen for a little while. And they didn't believe me. And so for honestly, over a year, she shot at me and was threatening me. She was on meth, and I was over it. I was tired of having her house shot at. She hit it a couple times, but because I couldn't prove it, and I thought, my God, because I have cabin siding. But anybody that had been here, I think you were here one time when she was shooting. Mom got trapped here for like 2 hours because she was shooting. It was bad for a while, and they didn't believe me. So they kept telling me basically, you know, we don't believe you. And I'm like, why would I lie about this crap? Like, why would I lie about this crap? I'm just really irritated, and I'm tired of being shot at. So finally, when she had a night, and I guess she had like a 3 or 5 day bender at that time, and she started getting out screaming at me and shooting again. I just live streamed it to YouTube and called the sheriff's department and said, either you get out here and do your job, or I'm gonna sue y'all blind. Took 5 of them to get her out of the woods where she had a long barrel 22 trying to shoot me. And she had for over a year. She had been trying to shoot me. Why? Well, she was high. When she'd get high, she would forgot that she had logged her land. And when she would get high, she would see the trees gone, come out in the backyard to look for the tree thief, who she blamed on little green men. But I was the only home she could see. And so when she saw me out one evening, she thought I was the tree thief. I was doing physical therapy in the pool in the backyard. And she started shooting at me. And that's what locked in her brain. I was the tree thief with the little green men. I was like the kingpin. At least I was the kingpin in her world. Hey, main character, yay. And every time she get high, she would go back into that reality in her brain, and it drove me absolutely freaking crazy because she would just any time of the day or night go on a 3 to 10 day bender, and you never knew what was going to happen, and it was just like, what the heck? And the cops were just really lazy about it. And I don't mind, like, you know, you got a possum or something, you got a pest in your pasture, you got a coyote coming in to run your livestock. Yeah, I'm a stray shot 2 or 3. That's fine. I understand it. We live in a rural area. But when you over 10 hours empty 10 clips while you're screaming at the sky and the only house you can see, you might need some help. Yeah, it was bad. We were so bad. Hello, Christian. I've been thrown back at the algorithm. The traffic has just been horrendous the last little bit, and I like my quiet side of the YouTube back. I want it back. Go away. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up this dream catcher. I'm going to put some tail drops on. I'm not going to put any feathers on this one because I put feathers on this one. So I'm not going to put feathers on that one, mostly because I hate doing feather dangles. I don't care. I hate it. So I put feathers on this one. I'm not going to put feathers on. I'm going to make that one really ornate. And so maybe I'll have a few that can appeal to all different levels of people that are interested in this type of stuff. I think when they do the at Scott County, I think when they do the heritage thing, I think I'm still going to be doing that teaching 2-hour block for the weaving. They haven't told me that they changed the schedule because we didn't have it last year due to Helene and the rain that came in. And I was scheduled to do it last year, and they said they were just going to roll us all over to this year. So I presume I'm still scheduled to do that. And that, I think, will be really fun. It will be really exhausting, but really fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, I'm just, dealing with my health, and mom and dad are, also dealing with some health stuff. Also, for my subs, Denise did comment today on a video, and so I'm not telling anything she didn't post publicly, but she had to end up in the hospital and have another stent placed. So everybody, toss up prayers for Denise. So she is back in the hospital currently, and we need to remember her and send up some prayers. Denise is like the OG of this channel. We love her. She is just kind of adopted family at this point. And I knew I had not seen her in several days, and I give her waves because her health is kind of like mine, and I was starting to get worried. And she popped up today and told me she'd ended up back in the hospital. They had placed another stent, and she's still in the hospital currently, but doing well enough to peruse YouTube. So that made me happy, but we do need to keep Denise in our prayers. So we've got a lot of subs just going through some health stuff right now. It seems like everybody's going through some kind of health journey, and it seems like a norm that everyone sadly in our nation is experiencing. Can't imagine why. That's a joke. I mean, if y'all know me, y'all know that Sabrina Wallace is my dearest friend. Me, Kim, and Sabrina are like the holy trifecta. But if y'all know her education and intelligence and things that she's been talking about, we all know why. We all know what's going on. We know. So it doesn't surprise me, sadly, that there's a lot of new health issues occurring in our nation and occurring in mass quantities, especially like the people in was it Baltimore where they had like 27 people drop dead, and they tried to blame it on like a mass overdose due to a bad batch of drugs, and I was like, no. Really good dope dealers network to where they space it out and they cover different areas and different grids so that you can't trace that, because number one, they don't want to be traced and charged and have somebody's death pinned on them, and number two, they don't want to lose people, customers. So if one or two drop, they don't care. They just don't want people to be able to lead back to them. They want people to say, oh, well, it randomly occurred everywhere, so it just is what it is. And so the users can't verify that there is a true issue, and they just keep using. The fear of God might help a lot of people that have a drug issue, but the people that prey upon those and sell those things, they network so efficiently. Like the business model they have is probably better than I mean, I'm just here to tell you, like, a lot of CEOs could probably take a lot of notes. And so I'm calling bullcrap on the mass overdose or to do a bad batch drugs. That's at that level. When they market that crap, they network it out to where it can't be traced like that. You will not see them die in batches unless it's like homeboy tried to make a run of something and failed. If it is a true drug that's been like truly networked, you're not going to be able to trace that. It's going to be a widely dispersed issue so that you can't hold anyone liable. So, we all have our ideas. I have my ideas. If you want to know what my ideas may be, you can go to the Odyssey platform and look up Synergy, P-S-I-N-E-R-G-Y, and you can start to understand a little bit what's going on. You can start to understand a lot of the jargon that our government uses because they think we're too stupid to look it up. You can start to understand what's being talked about. So we are fixing to also do chapter 6 in our book, The Invisible Rainbow by Dr. Furstenberg. And it's a really good chapter. I'm trying to let my eyes clear up because reading my notes is very difficult when my eyes are doing this. So it's kind of a pivotal chapter because we went from the history of electricity in medicine to how electricity affects plants both naturally and in scientific areas. So experimentation. It's kind of a pivotal chapter where we start to go forward into some of the deeper topics. So it is kind of the culmination of the history, getting you up to speed, and now they're going to change gears and take us another route. So it's very interesting. I also got the People's History of the United States, which they said they were going to put on the banned book list, so I snapped it up. So we'll probably read that one next. But as soon as my eyes clear up, we'll go through chapter 6, maybe chapter 7, and try to get back on a regular schedule again since I'm feeling better. There's Denise. Oh, you're home now. Good. You take really good care of yourself, Denise. It's hard. I know. It's hard when you constantly, your health constantly knocks you down. It's really hard to always kind of have the gung-ho nature to keep every appointment and do everything, and it just gets monotonous after a while. You're constantly being told what to do, and it kind of irritates you. But after having a stent placed, you treat yourself very nice, put yourself as a priority, put yourself way up there, and make sure that you keep every appointment 5 days. Oh my gosh, I've done 8 before. That's like my max. That's where I tap out and I'm like, I'm done with this place. It's enough. I can't take it anymore. I don't like the hospital. I spent a lot of time there for about 6 years when this disorder hit and kind of just really crashed my body. Every organ just like wanted to stop. I don't like the hospital. And it's okay if you're truly really sick and you need like to be surveilled 24/7. It's good, but like if you want to heal, you need to be home. So I'm glad you're home. Just take really good care of yourself. I'm trying to block people that are sending me stupid messages. Sorry. There's a lot of them today. I tell you that YouTube threw us back out in the algorithm. It's not nice. So, well, I'm going to finish my tail drops for this dream catcher, which these are pretty. I think they'll look really nice. I've got a fox hide up there that I may also put some on these. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to just look at them until like Thursday when I have to box them up and see if they want to have any fox fur on them. And I've got 5 boxes already done. I think that's basically everything except for 1 box of fur that is my responsibility for this thing. So I'm ahead of the game. David's got some other stuff that he's got to go through. And I hope that the weather is good enough and my knees are doing okay to where I can be there. I've had a lot of swelling the last couple of weeks, so we'll see. But I want to be at the 127 corridor sale. So if you're out and about and you're near the East Fork Stables area, we will be, well, I say we, David will be, and if I feel good, I will be there quite a bit. Behind East Fork, and he'll be set up, and he'll have a very large spot. So if you see native art and furs, that's probably Dave. So go up and say hi. He looks grumpy, but he's actually not. Well, He can be grumpy, but he looks mean, but he's not. Here, say hi. Denise is on here. She just had a stent put in. She had surgery. Let him put his cooler down. He got his hair cut this morning. Now his hats don't fit anymore. He checked the mail for me too. Yarn. I bet you that's yarn. No, it doesn't feel like yarn. I like it when yarn gets delivered. Here, pop in here and say hi to Denise. Lane, say hi. He just got off work, so. Okay, thanks, Kim. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to go and get dinner ready, finish up a couple things I'm working on. I will try to update again this week. Try to get through chapter 6 if we can. I'm just busy. I just want to let you all know I'm busy. So, and also, be patient. They threw us back out in the algorithm. We've got a lot of trolls crossing the bridge, so just wait it out. Maybe we'll find a few more gems in the minutia that goes through here and causes chaos. I hope so. Okay, shorty, it's your birthday. Okay, appreciate everybody that hung in here. We'll at least put pictures of stuff when I finish it on the community side of things. So I'll catch you in a day or two. Bye, guys.